So starting with the strategy, here we're discussing everything, the weightage of the sections and the entire paper pattern. Okay, so it starts with the test duration, that is 180 minutes. Two parts will be there. Part 1 will be having 170 minutes and part 2 will be having 10 minutes. So in part 1, it's majorly subjects which are kind of common to CAT except the decision making, and part 2 we have GK. GK's score is not included while calculating the entire percentile. So in part 1 we have verbal and logical ability. Unlike in CAT where we had 3 different sections of VA, RC, LRDI and Quants, QA, here we have verbal and logical ability combined in one, and then we have Quant and DI combined in one. That is one thing. But the best thing is, even if we call them sections, we can skip them. So there's no time limit duration to any section in XAT, unlike CAT. And that's the best thing. So basically in CAT, a lot of people felt, okay, I'm very good in LRDI, not in Quant, or maybe not in VRC, or in some sections. So I'll have to wait for 40 minutes, Here, that's not the problem. There's no limit. There's no, any kind of hurdle over there. So you can just skip between sections and between questions. All right. So in verbal and logical ability, we have 26 questions in all. I'll also give you the exact weightage and what kind of questions are asked in the upcoming slides. Decision making, we have 21 questions, and Quant DI, we have 28 questions, plus 1 mark for each correct answer and minus 0.25 for wrong answer. Like in CAT, we had the ratio of positive negative marks as 3:1. Here it is 4:1. So 1 and minus 0.25. And the strangest part about this is that if you do not attempt a question, obviously there'll be nothing negative. But if you do not do it for, there are 8 questions. If you do not do it, do not attempt questions which are more than 8, then you will be having minus 0.10 after every 8th question. That is for every 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th, and so on. So it's better to attempt to leave only 8 questions unattempted in the entire paper. Difficult to do that, but yeah, that is the reality of that, and that is the reason which makes it a bit difficult. Part 2, 10 minutes, no negative marking at all, so you can actually kind of do all the guesstimates. Only single slot is there. Questions will be 95 in totality. Cool. VA LR weightage based on the last year's paper. So RC had 2 plus 2 plus 3 plus 3 plus. That means we had 5 RC sets which were of moderate or difficult level, and these sets had 2 questions. In one set we had 2 questions, other also had 2 questions, and the next 3 sets we had 3 questions each. Well, poem. So it's not that you have to write a poem or maybe interpret a poem in a way. You have to, poem is also kind of RC only, poem based RC, and I'm already kind of creating a product in which I'll be discussing 10 very important poems and 2 questions each. And also for DM, decision making. FIB, so fill in the blanks, 2 questions from there. Poems was easy because they don't want you to become Shakespeare overnight, right? So they just want you to have a kind of a bit of understanding of English literature so that you are good in, kind of understanding English of different perspective. FIB, that is moderate in nature. Critical reasoning, we had 5 questions which were moderate. Grammar-based questions also there. Nouns, pronouns, conjunctions, verbs, etc. Usage of adverbs, royal order of adverbs, and all that stuff is there in grammar. We have 2 questions there which were of moderate level. Parajumbles. Here we have parajumbles. There were 2 and it was easy. Why it was easy? You'll be shocked. Parajumble easy? How is that even possible? In CAT we didn't have parajumble this time. So parajumble in XAT becomes easy for a very simple reason, that they give you the options. It's not theta. So when the options are there are 5 options generally. So there'll be, let's say the options are like this. Statement 2, 1, 4, 3, 5. 1, 4, 3, 2, 5. 2, 3, 1, 4, 5. 2, 4, 1, 3, 5. So if you look at these options, there'll be one more option. Let's say that is 1, 4, 3, 2, 5. So looking at this, you'll be clear that you have to start from either first or second statement, which will give you enough reasoning or enough insight into how to look at the succeeding statements. So let's say one is correct and 2 is not. So automatically we'll have 3 options eliminated, or vice versa. And after that, if we have, let's say, the same things, 5, 2. So let's say 1, 4, 3, 1, 4, 3 is the same. We just have to check 5 and 2. So this is how you can play with the options to get it correct. And that is what makes it actually easy. Well, now, The strategy for VALR while attempting the paper. The section mainly about critical reasoning, reading comprehension and poems, and so you have to kind of read paper thoroughly, because the language that they use in that, the length of the passage is not that great as compared to CAT. That is why we should read it carefully, all the words, all the data, and once you understand the essence of each para, that will be very crucial to arrive at right answer. Of course, that is kind of obvious, and maximum you should give 50 minutes to this section. This is the order which people should be following. Of course, it's subjective. People can start RC first and then they can attempt PJ. But here, the best idea is to start with PJ. The reason is something I told you already, that they have options there. Then reading comprehension and then critical reasoning. But critical reasoning will actually be difficult. Well, then comes the DM weightage, decision making. Decision making, there are different cases given to you, different situations given to you. Based on those situations, there'll be some kind of problems posed at you, and you find the correct solution depending on what the question is asking and what kind of options are there. It can be one single question, option. It can be combination of options. It can be a logical sequence. They can ask in different ways. Last year, I won't be giving you the entire topic in this video, of course, but there will be, as I told you, we are creating a gift material for decision making and poems combined. We'll be having 50 questions there, 50 sets over there. So last year, these were topics on which the questions were asked. Grocery store. So probably there's a grocery store in which a person, the shopkeeper, is feeling some kind of trouble in giving discounts or whatever. So there will be different situations there. So based on that, there are 3 questions which were difficult in nature. It might be mathematical, calculative also. That is a possibility. Shalini and Nalini, incentive. So as incentive, they might be in sales, marketing, whatever, working somewhere. There's some kind of issue with the incentive that they're getting. So all these things require a lot of critical, mathematical, logical, and ethical thinking. 3 questions again. So 3 questions everywhere. Taxi service, business dilemma, go valve and safe valve. Vinita and SUV decision. Vinita might be someone who might be wanting to buy an SUV, or might be working as a marketing manager in some SUV company. So Vimla and Sharda made stolen ring. Stolen ring. I think I took a class on that, session on that. Probably you remember that. Maid stolen ring. So the maid someone stole a ring. We don't know whether it was stolen by maid. Maid was working with Vimla for quite a few years, with Sharda recently. So all this confusion was there, and based on what should be the correct ethical way of approach, we had to answer the question. ABC Business School. So all depends on the last year paper. The topics were these. So now you understand what kind of topics, based on what kind of topics they can have an entire caselet, and what kind of questions can be there. Difficult, moderate, difficult, moderate. This was easy. So once you read the passage, once you read the caselet, and after that you read the questions, you'll get to know which one is easy, which one is difficult, and which one is moderate. And you can choose accordingly. By the way, you should not spend more than 45 minutes on this section. You need to maximize your score. 45 minutes are enough actually. And typical DM question on the case has one or few objectives that has to be met, and there are few constraints to attain these objectives. Objective can be a decision, a business decision, an ethical decision, a logical decision. Those can be the objectives. To punish someone or let someone go. So all the objectives have to be met based on the conditions that are given there, and also you have to use your ethics and logic to do that. By the way, in DM section, it's an easy section. The reason is simple, because all the people in this world have some kind of ethical, understanding, right? A person who gets all the DM sections wrong would either be a liar or be a psycho. So now coming to the next one. While attempting, take the option which fulfills the objective. Obviously, not the option which may sound ideal or best. Sound ideal or best. So there are things which are ethically upright, but they are practically impossible or logically impossible. So you'll have to have a balance of logic and ethics there. That is the only way you can come up to to solve a question correctly. They should always be there. For example, let's say there's a robot which I have made, and the robot's work is to save people when they are endangered. So 2 people are dying, 2 people are drowning somewhere in the lake, and the robot can see them. Okay, one person is, let's say, 2 meters away, other is 3 meters away. So based on the logic, robot will go for and the robot can only save one. So the robot will go and save the one who is nearer, right? That sounds logical. But there can be other things as well. The person who is 2 meters away is an old person, fulfilled the entire life, had children, had a very good life, enjoyed, had luxury and everything. And the person who is 3 meters away is just a young child, a bright child. So, ethics or logic? What is there? You comment, you tell me in the comments who would you choose. So these kind of things which look ideal but are not logically ideal, ethically ideal but not logically ideal, should be avoided. You could ace DM with zero prep tool too. Exactly. This section needs to have a rational and logical mind. I give an example of robot, and do not forget to tell me in the comments which one will you choose, the child who is 3 meters away or the old person who is 2 meters away. Then do not mark the ideal answer choice. Keep in mind the objectives and the constraints. Look for the option which compromises on none. QADI weightage, QADI, quants and data interpretation. So last year we had 2 questions on linear equation, one on quadratic equation, one on logarithm. So if I combine this will be the cluster of algebra, 4 questions from algebra. TST, that is arithmetic. Profit and loss, that is arithmetic again, 2 questions from arithmetic. AP, arithmetic progression, that's again algebra. Algebra had 5 questions in the cluster. Geometry, 2 questions. Data sufficiency. Now what is DS? In DS what happens, there are 2 statements given to you, and based on the parameters or the constraints given, you have to choose whether one is correct, second is correct, both are correct, neither is correct. So something like that, that is data sufficiency. When you have to see the problem here is it is an easy section because you have to just answer whether the question can be answered or not. But human minds are hardwired in such a way that they look at the problem, they tend to find a solution. Here we don't have to find the solution, we have to find whether the solution is findable or not. So that makes DS interesting. PNC, permutation combinations, 1 question. Venn diagram, 2 questions. Polynomial, again algebra, 1 question. DI sets, 3 plus 3 plus the 4 sets with 3 questions in 3 sets each, and then 1 question, 1 set had 2 questions. Overall 28. So here also cluster of algebra is very high, and they also ask questions on numbers many a time. This is from the last year weightage, but I made a video on which I've told that the kind of the clusters, the quant clusters, arithmetic algebra, which is more, which has got more weightage in that. Okay. DI strategy, QADI strategy. Start with DI. There is something, which is followed by experts. Again, it's subjective. So let's say you get a question which is of arithmetic, you will say, oh, I can do that. So that's subjective, but starting with DI has got a purpose, because in DI, you will be having 3 questions or 2 questions based on, what kind of DI set is there. So if you solve the DI set, you'll be able to answer 3 questions at one go. So that will save some time. That's why we should start with DI by skimming through the questions and identifying the right set to target. There's a relative exercise, actually relative and subjective. Hence, it is important to first scan through the entire paper, identify the set or which you can answer maximum questions. In terms of QA, go with the question that your strongest topics. Obviously, that is needless to say. So, like I like numbers, algebra a lot. I'll start with that. You might like geometry. You can start with that. Here, there is no fixed. Like in CAT, we can actually determine, okay, arithmetic, algebra would be having these many questions, but in XAT doesn't really happen. In XAT, you can have 4 questions of number system. That is a possibility. So whatever your strongest topic, go through all the topics. Which one is strongest, just do that. Since it is all about managing time, maximizing marks, important to attempt all those questions, definitely know how to solve. Obviously, these things are kind of obvious. Now, attempting strategy, question wise. Round 1. So you remember I told about the round strategy for quant in CAT, in my classes, also in the YouTube videos. Sitters are like the easy questions, which are conceptual. For example, 3 to the power 3, mod 11. Famous question from CAT 24, slot 2. So, sitters, this is a sitter question all across the sections. Attempt it there itself and mark the questions which you feel you can attempt and have an idea about. Round 2, attempt the marked questions. Marked, so questions which you feel, okay, I can do it, but I require more time, do that. Round 3, you may go to the next section. Yes, this is the best part of XAT that I like the most. Unlike CAT, that if you feel that, okay, I will spend more time in such questions, which I know, but they are lengthy, so I can go to the next section automatically. I can skip the sections, unlike CAT. Okay. We are starting with free XAT marathons on YouTube. This channel itself, you will find the link there if you search. So first session is by Mr. Kamal Lohia, and he'll be taking up XAT Quant a kind of refresher course. Then Mr. Vikrant Kathuria, that is tomorrow, 28th November. He'll be doing the VARC part. Then XAT by Mr. Rajkumar Jha. That'll be day after tomorrow, 29th November, 6:30 p.m. All these sessions are at 6:30 p.m. And then by me on XAT decision making. So subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share to the people, those friends, those who think like sharing is caring. You feel there are friends who did not do CAT really well and they require some kind of help there. So share it to them, and we'll see you in the classes. By the way, the XAT course has been launched by iQUANTA, where you will get these things. In QuantAI, we'll be having 400 plus recorded videos, 40 plus hours of live session. Like we'll be coming in front of you and teaching you different topics, different concepts with relevant questions and PYQs. 3,000 plus practice questions in the student dashboard. You will get with the course itself. For VARC, 120 plus recorded videos, 20 plus hours of live sessions, 1,200 plus practice questions. DM, 65 plus DM sets in the dashboard. And as I told you earlier also, I promised you there'll be a gift material which we are kind of creating right now. It'll be DM 40 and poem 10. So it'll be 50 sets will be there, 40 of decision making, which we are developing with help of the XLRI students. Okay, that's the secret. And then GK, 10 plus hours of live sessions, monthly GK PDF for XAT mocks, 7 full length mocks, last 6 papers of XAT as mocks, and in-depth analysis. So grab this mega offer because we've slashed the prices to 50%. As you can see here, use the star, and do not forget to use this code, otherwise you won't be getting that discount. So let's join hands, let's crack XAT, and I'll see you in the classes. Thank you.